All right, someone tap on the glass.
No, but that passed. I think he's good.
Yeah, I could see him for a minute before he changed the lighting.
I heard somebody bang on the window, I think.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing for Wednesday, February 12, 2025. Hopefully everyone has signed in, so they will pull your files and get you out of here as quickly as they can. I'm going to do some swearing in. We'll probably end up doing that 2 or 3 times as strays walk in. So everyone who's going to testify or say a word, raise your right hand, say I do and we're done. Does everyone swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. My name's Doug McGibbon. I'm the special magistrate. Most of our cases tonight are either going to be violation hearings or fine assessment hearings. When you hear your name being called, please proceed to the podium over there. Tell us who you are and what your address is. The village will put on their case. They will ask you to object to any documents they may have. You can question their witnesses. You get to put on a rebuttal, put on whatever case you'd like, and introduce whatever documents and witnesses you have. That switches when we get to the fine reduction hearings on the last page, or pages. Those people have been through a violation hearing and a fine assessment hearing. They're asking for relief, so they get to go first. I think I've hit all the highlights, so please take it away, Village. One observation, the clock on the TV screens was wrong. We're only a couple minutes late, not like 10. So with that being said, take it away, Village.
Thank you, Special Magistrate Amity Barnard, Village Attorney. We're starting on the agenda on page 1, a status/fine assessment hearing, case 23-1088, 276 La Mancha Avenue, Nefertari T. Daly.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Order granting continuous and setting fine assessment hearing. Verification, ownership, and pictures.
Your name, ma'am?
Nefertari Daly.
Okay, these are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is your prior order granting continuance from the last hearing with the certified mail that came back. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is a dated photograph of the violation. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Objection, 99% of the time I do these, and it says tarp on roof, it means that you're fighting with an insurance company in court, and we're just trying, Miss Bernard, I think you have documents to get here. And we're just trying to keep up with it to make sure that things are moving along here. I think last time we asked for some sort of status to see where you were in your litigation with the wonderful insurance company that you're litigating with. Counsel's looking at the document to see if she objects.
Sure.
All right, admitted without objection. Okay. Someone out of Miami I've never heard of, but there are only 100,000 lawyers in Florida, so. All right, we're up for mediation on February 18th, so that's good. It's moving along. They have a trial date tentatively of July, so hopefully you'll get reached, but a lot of these things get bounced, so we will see, but you're just pursuing it along, and when are we going to bring this back? Because they are moving along in the process as we want them to.
I think 3 months from now is probably appropriate. That'll give the mediation time to occur, and we'll see if there's any progress there.
Hopefully you'll get settled and you can tell us, and you are, getting your permit to build your roof, and then your tarp will be acceptable.
So that would be the May hearing, yeah. So if we could, we need the order to establish a compliance date. Let's May 9th if the magistrate is amenable, and then the May hearing is May 15th.
5/9, 5/15, 25?
Is that the prior order? Yes. Yeah, 25, thank you.
All right, so Now you need to comply by May 9th. We're just seeing how your litigation's going. Hopefully, you'll be settling sometime in February. If not, we'll at least hear about how the trial thing is going.
Does the tarp have to stay on now that it's not like rainy season or whatever? Can it be
I
removed?
said it wrong.
Yeah, it can, but you're going to end up putting it back on as soon as it starts to rain again. So,
Hopefully it's
right
done
now,
by
you
then.
sort of have tacit permission to leave it there to protect
Right.
the leak, so just leave it there while we do it.
Okay.
I mean, if it gets to the point where we're saying, no, you can't do it, you have to remove the tarp, then you'll remove the tarp and then suffer some leakage, so hopefully it'll all stand.
I have to correct for the record, I said the wrong date. I think I said May 15th. It's actually May 14th is the hearing date.
All right, 5/9/5/14/25 is granted. All right, you'll get another order in the mail, and we'll see you in a few months.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I tell people to put their phones on silent, not because I'm going to yell at them, but it's fun watching them dig for them, and trying to frantically turn them off. So, whichever. Next, please.
Thank you, Special Magistrate. We're moving to page 4 of the agenda. These are violation hearings, case 24-1010 at the top, 11925 Southern Boulevard, Boulevard Shops LLC. Go ahead.
Good evening, Special Magistrate. My name is Andrew. I'm the Antique Code Inspector with the Village of Royal Palm Beach. The code section at hand is 23-49A6, a truck displaying signs and advertising on vehicle. The violation was observed on 12/23. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/24 and returned on 12/26. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
You're-
So you are, counsel, because I have a feeling.
Greg, G-R-E-G-G, Rossman, R-O-S-S-M-A-N. I'm an attorney out of Broward County, and I'm here on behalf of Mission Barbecue, which is actually a tenant to the landlord at 11925 Southern Boulevard.
I used to practice in Broward, and I'd come up here, I never say I was from Broward. They hated that. All right, so we have a signed green card for service. I ate at your lovely establishment soon after it was opened.
We're not here to fight.
Applied, it's going to be a...
The only thing I was going to ask is for some grace. I know Mr. Armiento said he wants a finding of fact. I would ask that they're new. They have one of these, I call them half tracks. They call them a Bam Bam. It's a big truck. It is street legal. They have licenses. They drive them. They take them to events. And they were told, no, they're not arguing that. Mr. Armiento told somebody, manager, I confirmed that this afternoon after speaking to him, orally came in and told somebody. That person relayed to general counsel that they couldn't keep it there all the time, which is, they couldn't keep it, according to Mr. Armiento, they cannot have it there at all because it's a sign, and we're not fighting that. If they want to keep it there, they'll have to try to go through a variance process. I'm just asking for a little grace that you not make a finding. They have removed the truck. It has not been back. It will not be back unless or until they're ever given a variance. If they're given a variance, that's a different thing. But until that time, they will not have the truck back. I can make that assurance.
Well, that's fine. I think they are allowed to park these things in certain locations at certain places, but it can't be right up against the road, I think is the bigger problem here. Is that
Well, the
correct?
signage on the vehicle is the problem. So the issue is that the notice of violation specified a compliance date. They didn't comply by that date, so the village is asking for a finding of fact. We have proof that the violation continued after the date specified in the notice. So as a matter of law, we're entitled to your finding that today. I understand he's asking you not to find it, but the evidence that's
Yeah, I mean,
before you today
The evidence
shows.
is the evidence, and there's a rather large vehicle parked in a parking space with orange cones around it, kind of obviously. And
Nobody's
if you're
arguing
not
that,
going to
Judge.
have a problem not bringing it back, that's not a problem either, but it's going to be a finding of fact in this case.
I don't remember. I couldn't tell you.
While everyone's ignoring me, the finding of fact is granted.
All right, thank you.
All right, sir, we'll get your client an order in the mail.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Next case is the next one down on the agenda, Special Magistrate 24-0962, 775 Carissa Drive, Tara B. Nyland.
Good evening, Anthony Sellen, Village of Royal Palm Code Inspector. The address of this file is 775 Carissa Drive. The code section will be 144A. The description is a disabled wrecked vehicle. I observed the violation on 12/6/24. The certified mail was sent out on 12/6/24, and the property was posted on 1/6/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos. And sir, this is a finding of fact.
Okay, we just got to go through some paperwork then.
Tarrant Island.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice, the affidavit of service for the posting of the notice documents, the notice of violation.
No, it's not. The
Hearing for tonight's hearing.
they
and then the
comply
return
with
by mail.
the parking against the flow of traffic.
Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership
So I
showing that you
need
own the
to-
property.
Yes, that's
And
fine.
exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation.
Let them-
Any objection to these documents?
No.
Yes, ma'am. We're both
Objection,
yes.
so it's a car.
Should I tell her and tell?
It's a car and she's moved it? Is that the testimony of the officer?
Okay, so Special Magistrate 2316 is being removed.
All right, which is the parking or the car?
Parking against the flow of traffic.
Okay,
So the remaining code section 144A is the finding of fact that we're requesting.
all right, so she moved the car. And you're done. You're done. It's a finding of fact that said you had a disabled vehicle there, you've moved it,
Yes.
so it's not this problem right now. Don't do it again. If you do it again in 5 years, it's a finding of, well, it's a repeat violation. You don't get time to cure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Next case on the same page, 24-0963, 132 Cortez Avenue, Juan C. Alzate and William G. Cifuentes and Maria D. Munoz.
The address of this violation is 132.
Turn the speaker on.
132 Cortez Avenue. The code section is 0619085. The description is the structure is stained. I observed the violation on 12/6/24. Certified mail was mailed out on 12/6/24, and the property was posted on 1/6/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, a notice of violation, notice of hearing, also an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos.
This paper?
It's just the phone.
Yeah, I don't think we need that.
One,
What's your last name?
Galliano.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of posting the notice documents, the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and then the certified mail, which we got back. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is dated photographs. And that's it. This is a duplicate page, so I'm going to remove that one. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. You have service via posting on January 6th, like the last one. All right, so we see a picture of the side of the house by the AC, which looks like it needs to be pressure cleaned and/or painted. So we're going to give you time to do that since this is a violation hearing. And here's a part of my speech that I forgot, and it really applies to the violators out here. When you get a copy of my order that the village prepares for me, there's one bold section in that order, and it says, when you fix it, call for an inspection. I've literally seen people working on their properties, driving home from this meeting, fixing things, and it still wouldn't count until they call for an inspection. So once you get it pressure cleaned, and if that works, call for an inspection. The code officer will come out there and look, and maybe you have to do some touch-up paint. All I know is it's a dry season right now. This is the time to do it. If you are going to do it, because it's no fun watching your paint rain down on you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
What are we going to give him for his cleaning of the side of the buildings?
We are asking for compliance by March 27th or the April 9th fine assessment hearing, or $25 a day fine. And Special Magistrate, can I ask him to spell his last name? Spell your last name?
Galliano?
Yes, sir.
What's his relation to the property?
You forgot to ask. I did too.
Owner.
You're the owner?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
IANO.
Like the drink.
Did you recently buy the property?
No, we probably got the old last name, Alzade.
So that's, okay, so that, you're the same as?
Yeah, the
Okay.
same person.
Okay.
They'll make the title company have fun, but that's not my problem. All right, so, and $25? Yes, sir. All right, so you need to fix this by March 27th. So try pressure cleaning it first. If it works, call the guy out. Well, call the guy anyway, just to show that you did it. It's always good to show that you're trying to comply. That way, if you run into problems and you ask for additional time, you will be able to say, I had him out, I tried fixing this, I couldn't do it, he wanted me to do more.
Okay.
So that's always a good practice when you're doing these things. I give people who show up here a little bit of a break in terms of time, just to make sure that they get these things or they have the ability to do these things. So hopefully you get it done, and give the code officer a call once you do it. Thank you, sir. You'll get an order in the mail. We're doing
Next
the
thing on the
next one?
same page, the third one from the bottom, 24-0972, 769 Camellia Drive, Stephen J. Broadhead.
All right.
Go ahead.
769 Camellia Drive, the code section is 6190A5. The description is the driveway and sidewalk stained. I observed this violation on 12/6/24. Certified mail was mailed out on 12/6/24 and returned on 12/9/24. I would like to admit the following items into evidence: notice of violation, notice of hearing, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos.
Your name, sir?
Stephen Broadhead.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed certified mail.
Got copies of all that.
Yep, we have copies there, it looks like. I brought an extra page.
And I've also got pictures of it.
Sure, we'll get to that. So Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is...
26 years. Huh?
That's right. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Objection. It kind of looks clean to me. What's dirty?
Yes, sir, it's a finding of fact.
Finding of fact, he cleaned it?
Oh, no, what's dirty?
Is that what you said, Special Magistrate? What's dirty?
I said, what's dirty? It looked kind of clean to me. Did he fix it?
Explain the violation.
No, he's cleaned it. He's cleaned it
So
very
this is
well.
the clean photo?
Yes, both of those. have
Yeah,
two photos.
I didn't see the before. All I saw was the pretty after. I'm going, why? So you fixed the problem. Is that, okay, good.
Just added the new one. I'm sorry.
All right, so it's
Also-
another finding of fact, but
Also, in June, July, when the rainy season comes, the sidewalks are like 65 years old, built in 59, 60. They're about an inch, inch and a half out of level, sloped the wrong way, so all the water off my lawn gets on the sidewalk and it's pitched the wrong way. In 99, they did the French drain and the swale and put a drain in everybody's swale driveway. But with the sidewalk pitched the wrong way, the water just sits on the sidewalk. So,
well, here's what I do, because I'm a 30-year resident of the village too. Once the rainy season stops, I pressure clean my driveways, I pressure clean my sidewalks, and then I do the nastiest job of all, which is pressure cleaning my 20-year-old shadow box fence. And the only reason why I have an existing 20-year-old shadow box fence is I pressure clean that thing every year and blow the mold off of it. So it's just sort of a habit. When it gets to the middle of June, July, August, I'm a lot kinder on these sidewalks, because it's just, you're going to get mold and you're going to be a more extreme case than most. But everyone out here, including my normal sidewalk in La Mancha, just from the afternoon thunderstorms and the humid baking, turns into a mold factory. So
my neighbors, when we get a good rain, there's 1.5 2 inches of water on our sidewalks for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah,
I've got a picture of him sitting in a chair with a fishing pole on his sidewalk.
Yeah, that sounds like you almost need to do your own French
It's
drain.
bad. We got to really stay ahead of the grass cutting.
No, it almost sounds like you need to put a little French drain yourself before the sidewalk
Or
because
put a
it's not
curb
going to
up,
be
or-
easy to elevate it. But hopefully you'll take care of it during the cold or the dry months and we'll just deal with it during the wet. Finding of fact is granted, sir. Okay, we can move on to the next.
Thank you.
You are
Yes, sir,
done.
you're free to go. Thank you. The next case is 24-0996, 633 Camellia Drive, Miguel A. C. Reyes.
Hello.
The address is 633 Camellia Drive, code section 2318 B3C and 2318 B1A. The description is the parking in the rear yard of prohibited vehicle. I observed the violation on 12/13/24. The certified mail was mailed out on 12/13/24 and returned back on 12/16/24. I would like to admit the following items into evidence: the notice of violation, notice of hearing, verification of ownership, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos.
Your name, sir, for the record?
Miguel Cruz Reyes.
Your last name is Reyes, Cruz Reyes?
Cruz Reyes.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, which you have, the signed certified mail that came back to the village. Sorry about that, they're together. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is photographs. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Supposed to comply. Received it on the 16th. How many days did you give them?
We got to start writing that down on the paper.
All right, we are doing what now? I'm getting more pictures?
Yeah, we have one additional photograph.
Okay. Sure. And you have a signed green card for service, so.
So you can have that. I'm going to add this is one additional photograph that's dated December 31st. Any objection to this document?
No, that's correct. Yeah.
All right, so this is a picture of the vehicle in the yard, I take it?
Yeah, from December 31st. After the date of compliance in the notice of violation.
All right, and what is it, a trailer or a truck?
Hit the button.
The trailer and the truck were parked in the rear yard. The actual truck is prohibited, which was a dump truck, but he has moved both items.
Okay, so they're both gone now?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, is this another finding of fact?
Yes, sir.
All right, they said you moved everything?
Yes.
Maybe a little late, so it's going to turn into a finding of fact, but just don't bring them back.
Thank you.
All right, finding of fact is granted. This is my finding of fact page.
It's page 4-day, I think. The next case on that same page, 24-0999, 763 Orchid Drive, BAF Assets LLC.
At the front of the room. Sometimes it's the front. All right.
Okay, Nick, you go ahead. Yep, there you go.
763 Orchid Drive, code section 2318B3B. The description was parking on the front lawn. I observed the violation on 12/13/24. The certified mail was mailed out on 12/13/24 and returned back on 12/31/24. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos.
Your name, sir, for the record? And your relation to the LLC?
Authorization to talk, Realtor.
You're a Realtor, you have authorization with you? Does code enforcement have this, or can we keep this?
Yeah, I emailed them to him, but that's fine. I'm here for the other one as well.
His authorization?
I don't have.
Not probably him, probably just because I'm here actually for the fine
you're on a fine
mitigation.
mitigation.
Yes, so I'm here for both.
Okay, so let me have that, if I could just look at that and show that to the magistrate for this case, and then
correct.
they'll have that in the packet for your other case. Okay, so these are the exhibits that the village would like to enter in to the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation,
Okay,
the notice of hearing for tonight's
Perfect.
hearing, the signed certified mail that came back.
yes,
Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property.
correct.
And Exhibit 3 is
No
2
more.
photos, one from January 14.
Yep.
And one from 2/11. Any objection to these documents
Nope,
being
all good.
entered? Okay, and then I will just have the magistrate take a look at this,
Thank you.
and then we'll give it back to you.
All right, authorization and a couple of photos.
Here's the village's exhibits.
Signed green card equals service.
I don't know that we need that in the record.
Am I able to do the other one while I'm up here, or we have to wait again?
You got to wait again.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, they're my favorites, not. All right, so he is authorized.
Yes.
All right, so how many pictures do we have? Oh, okay, there's the one, the two. Got it.
And this is a finding of fact, special magistrate.
Yeah, this is the finding of fact page. All right, so they used to park on the Chattahoochee, but they don't any longer, I take it?
Correct.
All right. So finding of fact is granted. I take it you've told the tenants no longer to park there in the front. All right, we'll get you back in a few. All right, page 5, anyone? Because we still have a number of people here.
Down 24-0930, 500 North State Road 7, Coral Sky Retail LLC. That's his, he's gonna have all this.
Excuse me. Sorry. Code sections 2-7527, 622, 108.4, 2632. Painted the exterior of the building without approved of new paint colors, interior renovations without approval and permits. I observed this violation on 11/15/24. Sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 11/15/24. It was signed for on 11/19/24. Sent out notice of hearing, certified 12/20/24. I got it signed and not dated. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, AS400 permit information. And Exhibit 6, letter from planning and zoning.
Your name, sir?
Good evening, Your Honor. Anthony Rodriguez on behalf of BJ's Wholesale, located at 500 North State Road 7. I have no objection to the exhibits.
And your counsel?
Counsel, yes.
Okay, very good. You don't want to see the documents? These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation with the signed certified mail. And these are just phone records.
Okay.
The notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, again with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. of hearing. No, we don't have Exhibit 2, so let's do them as they're marked. Misstated Papa is Exhibit 3. Exhibit 4 is marked photographs with the dates of each photograph.
Is the wall section?
Yeah, I can have the code officer, we'll flash them on the screen.
That,
Yeah, that's the one he's asking about.
Yes.
Is it the sign? What's the issue on that one?
it's the wall.
Oh, it's the wall being there, correct?
This, yes.
Okay. Exhibit
All
5
new.
is the village's permit information. And Exhibit 6 is an email from the Planning and Zoning, the village's Planning and Zoning Department. Into these documents being entered?
I have no objection.
All right, admitted without objection. It's my local BJ's. I noticed the vibrant paint color added probably around the time of the fair.
Yes, Your Honor.
I also know that that little temp wall is hiding your coolers that you use when people order stuff and then come in and pick it up. So, yeah, I have more than enough knowledge of that working location.
It's all new thing, though.
Yeah, it's all new, and no one
That used to
said,
be there.
let's go check out the approved site plan and see what colors we were allowed.
Yes, Your Honor. We're in the process of submitting for approval the paint colors. BJ's was unaware of the requirement to do so, so we're a little late to the process, but we are actively seeking to comply for approval of the paint, the exterior paint, as well as the interior modification, this interior wall. It's not a structural modification. It's not even a permanent wall, but
It's a temporary thing that can fall on people.
exactly. So
And you have to make sure it's attached properly.
Yeah, it needs to have some small level of engineering so it won't fall on me as I'm pushing my cart out the door.
right,
So,
we're actively
Yeah, and-
gathering the documents necessary for the permit application, and we request just a grace, some grace here, some additional to comply and make sure that we get those applications in, approved or denied, and the process moving.
I can understand that. They would rather try to apply for a variance or change the color than repaint the building. So what does the village say?
We're asking for compliance by March 27th or the April 9th fine assessment hearing, or $50 a day fine. As you know, the variance process is a multi-month process, and that's a choice that they're making. That's a business decision they're making, not to come into compliance while they're in pursuit of the variance.
Yeah, I understand. It's all a business decision, and it's also, all right, so they're saying you need to get this done by March 27th. You're going to at least need to get yourself into the process and schedule some meetings so you can show up on the 4-9 hearing and tell me where you are.
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask for at least 90 days, though, for compliance.
Because it's your fault? I mean, you know, it's hard to say, yeah, we screwed up and now we need more time. I mean, the village is giving you 2.5.
And it was written in November, so
It
we're
was
already
written in
3 months in the
November, and,
process.
You know, someone could have said, oh, we have a problem here, maybe we ought to just call the attorneys, and someone in the planning department of the law firm would have went, yeah, you know, they do have an approved site plan. It's got trees and it's got colors, and it's what they submitted for this site, and now they want to change it without changing it.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand completely. We only ask for a bit of time to correct the issue.
You have enough time to get yourself through the process and get it started, and we'll see where you are in terms of the meeting schedules when you come back on the 9th of April, because I don't want to sit there and string it out. You could have applied in November, December, or January, and now it's February.
Okay.
So. time to
And
be
bring with you at that
motivated.
hearing, bring with you the chronology of from today forward so that we can see. I mean, we'll know once you're in the system, when you're going through the TSR process, what your timeline is, but the variance process, if in fact you even need a variance, that's to get through the public hearings is a multi-month process.
All right. And the hearing will be April 9th?
I don't know that they
Yes.
need a variance.
I don't know.
No, they need to obtain approval for the paint color. They were approved a few years ago for different paint color, not this paint color.
So that's architectural approval, but
So
either way, they have to
they
go
have
through
to go through
TSR and then
AAR.
through planning and zoning and village council.
And then they have to do the interior renovation approval and permit. So it is a lengthy process, but I'm not sure of how lengthy.
Yeah, well, it depends on it's just paint.
The permit's the quicker part, so it would behoove you to come back to the April 9th hearing and already have dealt with the interior stuff while you're waiting to get through the public hearing process.
Right, that's my only concern and the reason for my request for an additional time to make sure that we do comply with that process.
As you've seen, I tend to bounce things. As you saw the First Lady here, that was her second meeting. She'll have 3 or 4 total because she's going through a litigation. You're going through a plan change, so I want to make sure someone shows up here on the 9th and say, we got this one wall, which was half the problem, permitted, because all you need to do is some anchoring and engineering there so it doesn't fall on me when I leave. And then you can say, I have hearings scheduled for this date and that date. Can I have more time? I don't want to come up on April 9th and here, we haven't submitted the application yet.
Understood, Your Honor.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to look at it, but I just want to know that, by April 9th, things are happening as opposed to.
And if, Special Magistrate, if you want the order to reflect that the April 9th hearing is a status/fine.
Yeah, that'll run it fine. We're going to make this a status/fine assessment hearing. That way
when he brings you back,
can give
yep.
us a status report in lieu of a fine if you were going well.
Understood, Your
If
Honor.
you're not going well, the fine part works.
And
Okay.
try to get through the TSR process as a technical staff review, so try to get your application as complete as you can so that you only have to go through 1 round or 2 rounds at worst of TSR, because that, every round of TSR bumps you back to the next public hearing.
Understood.
All right, we'll sign an order. Granted. All right, next, please.
And Special Mention on that, before he leaves, just so the record is clear, you assessed the $50 fine in the event?
Yes, 327,450 is granted.
Thank you.
Provide counsel with my email to make sure that services sent to me, just to expedite the process.
Do you have a card? Do you have a card with you? Or you can write it down?
But I can
You
provide
can write
my
it down,
email.
that's fine.
Not a problem.
Yeah, write it on
Yeah,
Ms.
just go sit in the
Hancock's
front row,
paper.
give her your email address and pass it on when you're done. All right, next case, please.
We're at the fine mitigations on
Already?
page 6.
That's so exciting.
First one
All
on the
these people
agenda
begging.
is 22-1691, 1213 and 1241 North State Road 7, Village Shops LLC.
Are the following documents into evidence? Fine mitigation request and agent authorization form. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance, which is the letter from Cutler in hearing.
They're just naming out the information.
All right, like I said in my introductory comments, fines, violation hearings, the city goes first. When it comes to the fine mitigation hearings, you guys get to go first and tell us why you should be excused or have your fine reduced. So go ahead and tell me.
There are names for the record.
Sure. Please tell us who you are.
Salo, I'm the property manager.
Okay.
And I'm Martin Heisey, the property owner.
Spell your last name, sir.
Heise, Heise.
Okay, prop owner.
And is the other gentleman going to speak or no?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Kevin Wood. I'm just an employee of the company.
And Special Magistrate, just so you know, the fine amount in this case is $21,750.
All right. The easy question, why should it be reduced?
Why should it be reduced?
What's that?
The fine, why should it be reduced?
Well, we probably was more of a misunderstanding than anything. We were given a citation that we had to replace trees, and it was a list of plant material that were in the order. And so Kevin was responsible to get the police planted and then meet with George Messimer when the job was finished to have it completed. So Kevin met with George. George walked the property, said everything on the list has been satisfied. And then George, according to Kevin, thought, well, I happen to want you to do some mulch that was not on the list and some bushes. So Kevin arranged to have the mulch installed in the bushes, and we thought we were finished. No indication that we were out of compliance, no indication that we had to call George back out there. So George never went back out there. And so apparently, and I'm not exactly sure why George went out in May, but he went back out in May, said everything is finished. And then we were assessed a fine, and we complained about it, saying we did all the work, we did everything that George wanted. We planted the, we paid the fine, we planted the trees, George signed off on it, and we thought we were done except for he wanted us to do some additional work. We didn't know it was part of the original order because there was nothing in about mulch, and there was nothing in about any specific bushes, but whatever it was, we got it taken care of right away. We did a title search on the property within the past month, and we find that there is not necessarily a lien on the property, but whatever shows up on a title search that this exists. And that's why we called the meeting, because we don't think we should have to pay the fine. We did the planning as required. I mean, it was very expensive. We obviously, I don't know if you're familiar with what happened there, if you recall.
No, tell me.
You're
no,
not?
I don't. Tell me.
So trees were missing. Some of them died naturally. Some of them we had removed improperly. We paid a $43,000 fine and had to replace them with an approved plant list. We replaced everything in the approved plant list, and George signed off on it. And then, which is, I don't know, what did we spend on the other trees? Another 40,000?
It was close.
So another 40,000. So, I mean, we're $80,000, $90,000 to try to get this issue resolved. Did not know that we had to call George back out there for a second inspection. According to Kevin, when he came back from the meeting, we were
in compliance.
We were in compliance and we were approved. So, at any rate, and then we thought we got it resolved after that, and apparently it was not. So that's about the only, it sounds like we screwed up, like maybe we should have been more aggressive following through. But, we've had good working relationship with George in the village. We build other shopping centers here, and normally we don't make mistakes like that, but obviously we should have been in touch with Linda and George and got something more formal other than Kevin saying, yeah, George liked everything.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so I see a letter from Coulter and Herring, George Messimer. It's like, oh, yeah, they fixed it on 5/5, but they had to donate $43,976 to a tree bank.
Yeah, so again, this is a fine mitigation hearing, so I don't think it's appropriate to relitigate the merits of the underlying case. There was an appellate right there, but as that letter indicates, there was a tree mitigation and a payment to the tree bank, but that has nothing to do with the code enforcement violation. That's a completely separate payment. That's not a fine. That's a mitigation payment because of the landscaping that you've put into the property. I'll just remind the magistrate that for fine reduction hearings, you have three things that you can consider. The gravity of the violation, which in this case was the removal of 35 trees. 22 of those were specimen trees that were underneath this code enforcement violation. The efforts that the property owner took to get into compliance, which he's testified a little bit to, and then the number of previous violations on the property, and there are a total of 24 previous code enforcement cases on these two addresses. So those are the factors under state law, under Chapter 162. Again, I don't think it's appropriate to relitigate the appropriateness of the fine. That order was from 2023, so it could have been appealed back then if there was a dispute about compliance, but today the ask from the respondent is for mitigation of the fine, so.
Okay, well, gotcha. I mean, it's just the 5.5 says he already put, all right, so.
That the village is using. The compliance date was 5/5/2023.
Okay.
Based on that letter.
We're using is 5.5.
All right, so we're all using the same compliance date. We're all thinking that this was done on the same day. The village says you have a $21,750 fine amount. What do you think it should be?
That it's the $20,000.
So what is the I'm not exactly, the other violations may have been tenants that had a A-frame sign that were not considered to be in violation as a shopping center.
Well, still 23 violations is not a minor amount of violations. All right, what's the village's position?
Bushes that were missing that we planted.
Yeah,
The
but
mulch was not part of any, other than we did it because he asked us to do it. I think $20,000 is and it was done right after we were told to do it. It's just that George didn't walk out there. So anyway, I understand. Is there anything else to discuss, or we were just denied?
no, we haven't been denied. We haven't got to that point yet. I'm just trying to find out what people's numbers are. So what's your number?
Numbers are.
He's asking what you want the fine to be reduced to.
The fine to be reduced to.
What number?
Well, I mean, we really did pay a high price for this. On the mitigation, some of the trees that were missing were dead trees from the back of the property. We paid specimen prices for dead trees, so we not only paid the $40,000 in fines, we paid $40,000 to replace trees that we don't mind replacing them, but they were not trees that we removed. So we really paid a very high price on
They're
this.
trees you were supposed to take care of, though, right? They're not just sitting there out in the middle of the
We
woods.
do take care of them, and it's a heavily treated, it's a large property. It's got a lot of trees on it.
I
We do
know, and
take
you're
care of
supposed to
them.
take care of these trees, too. I mean, that's part of the whole landscaping process. You're supposed to get
I would say
irrigation to
90%.
them, you're supposed to fertilize them, you're supposed to cut them. All right, so you still won't give me a number.
Is that?
A number. I think we were looking to be waived, for the violation amount to be waived.
Okay, well, that's a zero. Took a while to get there. What's the village's position?
We are leaving this one to the discretion of the magistrate. I've indicated the three statutory factors that you are allowed to consider, and given the village's testimony as it relates to those three factors.
Okay. Taking into consideration the three factors, I will reduce it to $10,000. I'll cut it in half for you, but there are lots of things you could have done to mitigate these problems before they happened, including keeping the trees alive. So
What was that?
That you should have kept the trees alive.
by when?
To me, 30 days would be March 12th.
By March 12th. We got to pay it.
That's very, any, 5,000, could we, I mean, something
It's not,
to.
you came out with zero.
Then to take this to
You
court,
came
sir.
out with
I'm gonna
zero
hire an
out of
attorney.
the
I got it,
blocks,
I got
and
it.
now
There's
you're
gotta
going to be
somebody beyond
complaining.
you, because we're not being treated properly.
All
We
right,
were
so-
not told to replace bushes on this property.
Do you expect him to somehow psychically find that you replaced the mulch in the bushes without you telling him?
What was that?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Do you expect the person to psychically understand that you replaced these things without informing them?
But the,
But what?
Mulch and the hedges were not part of the violation.
I think they're part of your site plan, though, as part of the violating the whole dead tree
Your
thing.
magistrate, I have the compliance letter, and it does not say anything about mulch or bushes.
Okay.
We're being charged for applying for something that we were not originally listed to do, and we did it right after we were still told to do it with George on site.
All right, so we finished arguing about it. You can either take the number, or you can just forget it, ignore it, and you can go on with the 21,750. So it's up to you. It's a business decision you get to make when you get my order in. Okay. Thank you.
Can I say something, Your Magistrate? I have an email that I sent over to Linda Walker and told her that everything was completed by 2/17. So February 17th, we were done with everything with the trees. So everything on that compliance letter was finished on February 17th.
George has an email that did the compliance date of May the 5th. My email back and forth to you was that I was trying to get the tree bank estimate and that I would note that you were asking for a reinspection, but George could not come out and do that reinspection on the 17th. He would be the following week, and you were worried that you were going to be charged that whole time. And I told you that if indeed you were found to be in compliance when he went out there, that then I would have that noted in your file. He did not find you in compliance. He actually did your compliance letter on May 5th, and the email that I have from George says, according to his inspection reports and his compliance letter, the date of your compliance was May the 5th.
So I have another email with George, and I'm sending him, he's asking me for the bushes, and I'm sending him the pictures of the bushes, and that was back in April. So if George went out there May 5th, why are we being charged from the day that he did the inspection? I mean, we have no control over that.
It was April, May 5th was after that.
That's why I'm saying. So that was even before he went out there to do the reinspection.
I don't know, you didn't forward those emails. Did you have that here for tonight?
I do.
Well, you probably should present that.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay, Your Honor.
So
Will you explain it to her?
Oh, 2 weeks.
And we asked George to be here to verify this, but he's not.
Actually pays George, he's our consultant. So that would be kind of like calling our attorney up and asking them to appear on behalf for you. You would have to get the information that you would need from him. But I have everything I communicated back and forth with George. I have all that.
What are you going to say?
The paperwork you gave me and the trees
Well, we told him
was all I did. And there was no plants or mulch. I was just asked to
that's what she said that.
Assuming that he finds that to be sufficient. But that's still higher than $10,000. So let's recalculate the fine back to that April 24th.
Well, I'm just going to deal with this.
Can you do that?
$250 a day. It's 2 weeks.
But the work was done before, that's when I sent the pictures to George. That's not when the work was done.
Do you,
So what, here,
we have, the document that the magistrate has is from the landscape consultant, George Missimer, that says the compliance date is May 5th. So-
all right, but we also have prior, I guess, correspondence that says it's done in April. All
8
right.
days. I think it's a difference of 8 days.
Well, 8 days is still at $250 a day, a couple $1,000. All right, based upon the additional information I have received, I'll reduce it to $7,500 by 312.
7,500.
Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, please.
Down is 23-1284, 1365 Savoy Yard Way, BAF Assets LLC. That way.
Try to keep them separate.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents as evidence.
She's gone. Go ahead.
Exhibit 1 is the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fines. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay. What is the fine amount?
The fine amount is $4,325. And your name again, sir, for the record?
John Scalia.
Okay. Back to the simple question. Why should the fine be reduced?
Disabled vehicle from the tenant. They obviously didn't know. When they found out, they kind of told them to remove it. The property is vacant, and we are selling them, so we would just let's see if we can get it reduced, and we can pay it on a property that actually is closing in 2 or 3 days. So you would be getting a check once, if we can get it lowered, in a week or so.
All right, and what is the village's position with regard to the, and what is the amount you want?
Court cost maybe, about $1,000.
Number. All right, and what is the village's position?
The village is not opposed to reduction. We'd be willing to reduce it from the $43.25 down to $1602.24, payable by 312.
1602.24, 312, granted. Someone got a thumbs up on that one. One is 602.24 is what I have. Oh, 6.4? See,
2.4 is what I had.
I have
That's what
2.4 as
said.
well.
Yeah.
You're outvoted.
Just make sure you pay it by that date or it goes back up. Just communicate that back to them. Yep, but the order will say that.
No, you guys send the letter out.
You'll get an order, yes, sir.
Yeah, and I don't sign those normally till Tuesday now, so it's got to be after Tuesday. All right, next.
14-1301, 155 Galliano Street, Daisy C. Villa.
Hi, okay, next.
And the fine amount, special magistrate, in this case is $16,700.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents as evidence. Exhibit 1 is the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fines. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Daisy Villa.
Oh, thank you, sorry, I mispronounced.
All right, Ms. Villa, why should the fine be reduced?
Found out about this because of a title search, but I do remember having that fence repaired, and when they repaired it, it originally was a 12-foot fence because it was a basketball court, and then they told me I had to bring it down to 6 feet or do a variance, so I had it cut down to 6 feet and called in for an inspection, and that was the last I heard of it until now.
And when did you call in for the inspection?
I'm sorry?
You call in for the inspection?
Probably 2 days after I did the 12-foot, and then
And
the
when did
next
that
day.
happen? I need some more dates other than,
I don't have the exact dates because all I know is this, what's on here, sir. This was
yeah, well,
a
all right,
while
so
ago.
I'm looking at order I signed in 2015. So is this something that happened in 2015, 2016?
Yeah, the previous order was from January of 2015, and your, the village's compliance date was October 28th of 2016.
So basically, it was a little over a year or so. Yeah, more than that. All right, so took a little over a year to get it complied.
Well, I had a lot of health issues.
All right, so do you have a proposed amount you think it should be reduced to?
I'm sorry, I can't
What,
hear.
what do you think you should pay?
$2,000.
All right. What does the village say that you should pay?
We're not opposing reduction in this case. We'd be willing to reduce it down to $4,175.18 payable by 3/12.
All right, 2 and 4, the middle number is 3. $3,000 by 3/12.
Can you pay that by 3/12, or do you need?
Yes.
Okay.
Title company, sounds like someone's getting ready to,
Just come here and pay.
Nope, you'll get an
no,
order.
you can't pay until you get my order signed. They don't have anything to attach it to, so.
Okay. So what was that number, 3,000? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next
Thank
case
you.
down is 23-0444, 1244 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Crossroads, RTG Owner LLC.
Hello.
Hello. Read it in for me.
Following items into evidence, Exhibit 1, the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, an order assessing fine or book. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, an affidavit of compliance.
All right, tell us who you are.
My name's Erica Ferreri. I am authorized agent for the property owner. So this was a tenant issue where a tenant did some work without obtaining permits. We did receive the violation. We sent it to the tenant to have them start, complying and getting everything that they needed done. This does date a while back. I have a long timeline here. I don't know if anybody wants to see it, of all the work that the tenant was doing, getting a GC, applying for permits, responding to comments, all that stuff. The tenant actually vacated. They decided to vacate at the end of their lease in August of '24. At that time, they did not finish the work. And then as the landlord, we, full transparency, just kind of dropped off since that space was vacant. And then we were working to sign a new lease. So they ran, I believe, probably some sort of title search on the property. They saw the violation, and then we got engaged to, as the landlord, to go ahead and clear the violation. And the work has been completed as of January 13th.
Okay.
And the fine amount, special magistrate, is $7,975.
One more day, it would have been 8. All right, and what do you think that your client should pay?
Can we agree to half?
I'm pretty sure we probably can. She says yes.
I'm not, lawyers and math, but if you want to do a round number, that's fine. It's roughly 8,000, so is that?
Can we make it 4 just to make my math easy for me? It's like.
Sounds fine.
Sounds fine.
By 3/12? Can you pay that by 3/12?
Yeah, we just have issues with mail because it goes to a corporate, so how can I?
Let's give them 412 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and can I follow up in a couple weeks in case we don't get something?
Yeah, you can, if you have a card, you can leave your card and we can try to email you the, not try to email you, we can email you the order. You have her contact? She's got your contact, so if she has it, that's fine, it's coming from her, so you're good.
Thanks, Lana. Thank you so much.
Order in the mail. Once you get the order, then you can make the payment. We're going to give you a date in April, though, just in case we have corporate mailing issues.
April 14th is, so
April
it's not on
14th will
a
be fine.
Saturday or Sunday.
Okay? See, she knows to run away when she gets what she wants. All right, we're
Next case is 16-1611-9990 Belvedere Road, Walmart Stores East LP, and they have another case, so I'll read them both in the record if I could, and then ask that the magistrate handle them separately, but I'll get them both read in, and we'll get the evidence in on both. Next case is 22-1815-9990 Belvedere Road, Walmart Stores East LP. And Special Magistrate, in case 16-1611, the fine amount is $72,350. And in case 22-1815, the fine amount is $28,950.
Case 16-1611, I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance. Case number 22-1815, I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
okay. My Walmart, my days, live here in the neighborhood. All right, so tell us who you are.
Magistrate McGibbon, Wes Hevia, LSN Law offices at 3800 Northeast 2nd Avenue, Miami, Florida. Also offices in Broward and Palm Beach County.
All right, Wes, you're going to spell your last name for us. We don't have to guess.
As in Victor, IA. Before you, and I do recall you recounting a story of walking through the Walmart, I believe with your grandson, looking at roller doors. I don't know if that rings a bell.
No grandchildren yet. I have
Oh, then perhaps
1-year-old.
maybe I am completely.
Yeah, you're talking probably about some other magistrate.
There's a roller door memory somewhere in here.
Actually, that was the roller doors that were not really permitted. Yeah, those.
But there, I do recall the conversation from years ago somehow.
Okay.
Good evening, Magistrate, village staff. Again, Wes Hevia for the record, outside counsel for Walmart. So if the magistrate doesn't mind, I'd like to just do a little bit of background for both cases and then jump into each case individually. So again, this is the Walmart store at State Road 7 in Belvedere. And about 2 years ago, Walmart brought in a new store manager for the store, Landon Moore, and also a new senior manager for real estate and portfolio manager for the state of Florida, Kim Traylor, now Conover. Kim and Landon have worked diligently with village staff to resolve all violations at the store. My law firm and other consultants, such as Bowman Consulting, have also been involved for the past several years to help get Walmart to the finish line with any open items, including through multiple site walks, meetings with staff, and permitting efforts, and that includes Supervisor Walker, so thank you for your help and patience throughout this process. As of really the end of 2024, all violations were in complied status. I should also note that Walmart has plans to renovate both the interior and exterior of the store pending completion of these processes. We've met with the manager. I believe Ms. Walker was part of that. Just a side note, the store is on the up and up. And I should also note that in 2024, when Walmart closed out several other legacy violations, there were fines totaling over $110,000. Walmart elected to pay those without seeking any mitigation, both in recognition of village staff's time and efforts, and also given the fact that there were still then violations open at the time. So we went ahead and just paid those without seeking any mitigation. And now that we have complied all violations, we're respectfully requesting the mitigation of this tranche of $100,000 set between two cases. So would you prefer I go individually or?
Individually would be nice. It keeps the record straighter.
The attorney mentioned we're on 1611?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So this violation included several sub-items, really minor issues such as hedges needing to be trimmed, tree branches. And my understanding, although I was not around in 2016 working on this, that many of those issues were complied early on. The big issue was the wayfinding, spray painting, and the online pickup signage on several of the spaces along the side of the store. As you may know, Walmart and other similar retailers have online pickup delivery space operations. They gained popularity, obviously, during the pandemic and since have really taken off. They are permitted under the city code. The issue here was that they were not part of the site plan. So Ms. Walker and others made that abundantly clear to Walmart. I expect before I was involved, but certainly once this new team that I referenced became involved and we began the process of undertaking a site plan amendment, which sounds simple, and it should be, but during,
not at all.
during the process, other issues came up. This is a rather old store, so there was an emergency generator in the back that needed to be worked into the amended site plan. There was a garbage enclosure. Just several items came up. It took Walmart over a year between application, comments, and process to get that site plan amendment. And then, obviously, once the signs were legalized, the violation could be closed. This was somewhat tied to the next violation, which I'll get into, but for record purposes, I'll keep them separate. That is the history of this particular violation. I should also mention that it wasn't just the signs; it was the spray painting orange wayfinding markers on the actual concrete of the parking lot. So again, Your Honor, I would say that in terms of the gravity, the actual signs, the online pickup signs are providing a service to obviously the community. They are used in all the Walmarts throughout the country, basically. They simply were not on the site plan. And quite certainly a lot of time, too much time passed before they were able to get their team together and get this on a site plan. But I am happy to say that we were able to do it with Bowman, with these new leadership in the Walmart, and we were able to get to the finish line last year. So I don't know if I should go through the other one first and then request a reduction amount, or if you'd rather me take it individually.
Go right ahead. You've already done the, all I'm thinking to myself is, my wife's from Kentucky. We used to go there for summers all the time. Walmart is like king in Kentucky. They don't require any landscaping.
I've heard
they don't require any parking bumps. They don't require anything. It's got to be a joy for Walmart there. And then you come to South Florida, it's like, hey, got to be nice.
Yes, sir.
We want some trees.
Yes, sir.
We like some parking space. All right, let's go into case number 22-1815. You'll tell me about the factual basis for your claim, and then we'll get the numbers on both.
Yes, sir. So again, this had several subparts and several basic maintenance issues like staining, painting, landscaping. My understanding is that those, again, were addressed pretty easily. Some did recur because of, time did pass, but we were able to stay in constant contact with code enforcement and play whack-a-mole and get it done. The issue here, the big issue, was the parking lot. So the parking lot was quite old and in a significant state of disrepair in certain locations in the parking lot, and staff, code enforcement staff, made it clear to Walmart that they prefer that the entire thing just be restriped and repaved, which is quite a lot of square footage, acres, in fact, and it required engineering permits, required plan submittals, required Walmart to have a special project, hire outside consultants. And I asked before this hearing, because I was curious, how much did it cost? I was told $1.4 million in hard improvements, and I know one permit alone was $47,000. I believe there were other permits. So this was not, although it's a simple issue, a straightforward issue, it was not an easy undertaking, and it did take time to permit and complete. So this is a 22 violation, and it took over approximately 2 years to get this thing wrapped up to the point where it was in compliance. So with that, Your Honor, and obviously would also love to hear from staff, but we would respectfully request a collective reduction for both of these by 60%.
By 60%? 60?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what does the village say?
Math.
See, math is the bane of attorneys. If I would have had good math skills, I would have gone to medical school.
Round numbers are fine, Your Honor.
Yeah,
All right, so it'd be 40, and I could split that 30-10.
To that, that's fine.
That's fine. So 30-10? That's
sir.
the split?
Yes, sir.
And payable by,
They'll give the same corporate, give the same corporate for April.
yeah,
because
414, yes.
414. Yeah, you get the corporate, it takes a while to make it through your mailroom into the right categories for people to go write a check. It's going to be
involved,
like,
we will make sure it happens as quickly as
all right,
possible.
so I reduced the $72,350 on case number 16-1611 to $30,000 payable by 4/14/25, or reverse back to the original amount. On case number 22-1815, I would take the $28,950 and reduce that to $10,000 by 4/14. And that concludes your part of our program. Thank you for fixing the parking lot. It was kind of a mess.
Magistrate, thank you, staff, and I hope we are in touch soon on non-violation issues. Thank you all.
Yeah,
Take care.
okay.
Next case is 24-0468, 127 Seagull Court, Gina St. C.S.
I seem to have more people here than I have violation hearing or reduction hearings, so I guess we're going to have some others.
Might be a couple of late folks.
Okay. Oh, at least they're 24s. Parking on the lawn, parking on the lawn.
With them as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. There's two cases. I'll read them both in. The next one is 24-0898, 127 Seagull Court, Gina St. C.S. Excuse me if I mispronounce.
For case number 240468, I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance. And on case number 24-898, Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. I believe there's an agent authorization form there as well for the first. So, Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sorry. And the second one was a repeat violation.
All right, what are the amounts of the fines on both?
Case 24-0468, the fine amount is $325. And in case 24-0898, the fine amount is $5,100.
Okay.
Names for the record? Okay. And your name, sir? P-A-G-E, or was there an I?
P-A-I-G-E.
Thank you.
All right. So, simple question, why should it be reduced?
I appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity for this meeting tonight. So the reason why the fine should be reduced, the violation was taken care of originally, and it had mistakenly come into place again. I own a business, and I had a location where the owner had sold the building, so our lease was wiped out. So I had my contents from my warehouse. I had to move it back to my house. That was the only place I could keep it. The business that I run is very, very difficult to rent another building for zoning. The landlords don't want that kind of business being done there. It's very, very difficult. So I went to the ends of the earth to try to find a warehouse that was capable, or that was allowing my type of business. And it was very, very, very difficult. It was a lot of searching, a lot of money on my end, and it was a lot of stress. I did not want to be in violation again. It was a complete accident, but I had no choice but to put those contents there. I wanted to put it at a storage facility, but a storage facility would not allow me to store those items there. So I worked very, very diligently to find somewhere that I could store those there, and we found something. But upon signing the lease for it, I had to have insurance on it and a BTR, which is a business tax receipt, and all that took a very long time. So as I was waiting for all this to be completed, we were in violation every day. And I worked very hard. That is my girlfriend over there. Her and I worked every single day to find a place. And it was very difficult. We looked everywhere from Port St. Lucie all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. So a very large area. And we live here in Royal Palm, so we were willing to travel. We had found somewhere now in West Palm Beach. We had signed a lease there. So there is no more violation. It will never, ever happen again. But I'm 23 years old. I've been in business for myself since I was 10 years old. It's very, very difficult now for me to make money. It's hard. I pay rent for a house for her, and I pay rent for a warehouse. It's very hard. I work, everyone does, but it's very hard for me to get by right now. We're not in season for what I do, and it's very difficult. I'm willing to pay for everyone's time here and you know, what they have into it and everything, but I can't even afford that, to be honest. So what I'm willing to pay is $1,000 is really what I'm capable and willing to pay, and I don't even have that. The amount of money that it took for me to move into this warehouse was more than I had, and then the insurance every day, the advertising for the warehouse too, and then just the overhead is killing me. It's very, very difficult, and it's extremely stressful. And I go to school as well, part-time. She goes to school full-time, and I go to school for business and communications. I do that out of pocket as well. Everything is very hard. I take care of my mother. My dad left me and my mother when I was a kid. My mom's really sick. She lives in California with my grandmother. I send her money on a constant basis. It's very, very hard for me to get by right now.
Are we good
Most
now?
23-year-old kids are out partying and doing all
You've
this
done
and
enough.
that.
You've done
It's
enough.
hard right now.
It's okay. All right.
$1,000
Village,
for everyone's
go.
time.
So in the first case, because the fine amount's $325, we oppose those because we're past the point of the village's costs.
Not a problem.
The second one, we'll leave that to your discretion. I would just remind the respondents that if there isn't an ability to pay, you only get one chance to mitigate the fine. So if you can't pay the $1,000, the fine will go back if you don't pay by the specified date. So I just want to put that out there. Our number was $1799.44.
All right, so first case, 24-468, the $325, I'm going to deny that because it costs them more than that to release the lien. Okay, you're going to pay that someday. That's fine. The $5,100, though, I will reduce that to $1,000 payable by April 14th. That'll take the big one off the property. And you have till April 14th to pay it.
Just remember, if you don't pay it by that date, the fine goes back,
goes
and you
back
can
up.
never come back to the magistrate for another mitigation request.
Okay. So the total amount is the 1,000 or the 1,000 plus the 3?
The 1,000 plus the 325,
all
but the 325 is not a concern of yours at the moment. The $1,000 reducing the 5 is your concern.
Okay.
If you get paid that, the only thing on the property is the 325. It's not continuing. It can be paid at your leisure. It's just going to be flat 325 until you, sometime after April, can deal with it. Got it?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you guys for your time.
You're welcome. Last, do we have our last?
24-0516, 407 Las Palmas Street, Anmal Mehta.
The last one. Just the reductions anyway. Oh, and then we only have 2 people left, so there's strays. Okay.
Did you read it in? Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request and agent authorization form. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
All right. Fine amount is?
$25.
Okay. They wheeled in the big guns. They brought a baby, too. Is it a boy or girl? Oh, good. I have 2 daughters. Ha.
Jeannie Forney. I'm the renter. He authorized me to be here.
Tenant.
Tenant.
Yes, and spell your last name first, please.
Forney.
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
Yeah, Jeannie.
G-N-E. Jeannie.
FOR what?
F-O-R-N-E-Y.
EEY.
Thank you.
All right. You've seen all these. You know what to do. Go do it.
We received notification probably in the summertime, I think was like the first one. I'm not sure that one is why we're here. I think it's from the September when it started. Was it September? Not sure what the date was because I think it's kind of started in the summertime.
It complied in December, so that sounds right.
I'm sorry?
It complied. The compliance date is December 16th, so that sounds right.
September hearing. Fine was assessed in December. Yes.
Okay, so my landlord lives part-time in New Jersey and part-time out of the country, so he is never here. So none of the information besides the first warning, the little door hanger comes to us. So it takes a couple days for him to get it and then a couple days for it to come back to us. So with the trash can, we were told that we were in violation of it. So we spoke to Ms. Hancock. We spoke to her and she just said to hide it and gave us some options. And all of last year, I was pregnant. So we were trying to put it in a place where I could easily get it because I was home all day. I worked for the sheriff's office full-time, 12 hours at night. So we hid it behind the vehicle because the description said to hide it or put it behind the fence, and behind the fence was a little bit too hard to get to for me. So we hid it, and then the hurricane happened, and I received a voicemail from her that we were in compliance and everything was fine, and she was dealing with a lot of things from the hurricane, and that's the last thing that we ever heard on my end from my landlord. And then in December, my landlord calls me and tells me about a $1,900 fine that we've been racking up every single day. And we had no idea, and he said that he did not receive anything. And then he spoke to Ms. Hancock, and she said that she left them a voicemail, but then he said that he was out of the country, so he never got it. So it's really just a big miscommunication. We did hide it or try to. If behind the vehicle wasn't allowed, then we would have moved it a different place for sure, 100%. As what I do for a living, I'm supposed to follow the rules. I'm not supposed to be getting in trouble or doing anything. But it was incredibly hard for us. And then the hurricane came, so we really had no idea. Otherwise, we would have moved it. I never would have let that rack up. Any fines whatsoever would have racked up because genuinely we cannot afford it. We have a new baby, so we were really blindsided by it because it's just, we're third party. It has to go to my landlord, whether he's out of the country or in New Jersey, and then by the time he comes back into the country, he opens his mail, and then we get it. So we really had no idea, or I definitely would have paid it or moved it and had her come out for a reinspection.
All right, so do you have a number in mind?
I'm hoping to get it waived, if not $300, $400,
Okay.
if it cannot be waived.
Can't be waived because there are all kinds of expenses that the village has racked up for this. What's the village's position?
We're not obviously opposing reduction in this case. I can give you our number, but obviously it's your discretion. Special Magistrate, our number was 118208, payable by 312. But we'll, again, let the gravity of the violation factor in your...
So the number between 300 and 400 is 350, payable by 414.
So much.
Okay.
And we'll get something in the mail that tells us where we can pay it.
You're going to have to follow up with these people to get a copy of it after Tuesday because it's going to go back to Jersey.
Okay, thank you. We'll let them know.
Go talk to Margaret after.
Yes, sir.
Ish would be a good day because I usually sign these on Tuesdays now.
And then
So I'll
that
be in
will tell
next
us where to pay
Tuesday.
it?
Have my direct number?
Yeah.
Once the orders are signed, you pay it right in those doors right in the corner.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
All right, thank you.
But call first so you don't come for a trip if they're not signed yet.
Okay,
You can't pay it until the orders are signed.
okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
You don't want paper clips? You sure?
Thank you, though.
All right, we have strays back there that want to go home. Come on down. We'll see if we can find you a code officer and a case to put together here.
Did you speak with Supervisor? Yeah. Go over there if you could to that podium. What's your address?
142 Santiago, but I already paid for...
Okay, if you'll sign, so your permit's in plan check?
Yes.
It's not done yet, that's why you're on the agenda tonight. So if you'll sign right there?
What's her address?
You're running
This is 142 Santiago.
Sir, Anthony's gonna speak to you out in the lobby.
So we're going to page 3, Special Magistrate. Second one from the bottom, case 24-0995, 142 Santiago Street, Armide C. Bastian, and this is a violation here. Excuse me, this is a, violation hearing, thank you.
15th person. You're very popular today for a slow month.
Special Magistrate, the code sections at hand are 6-190H, 15-142, 15-143, 6-22-1084, closed storm shutters, bare spots in the front yard, and pouring a concrete slab without a permit. The violation was observed on 12/13/24. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/13/24 and returned on 12/31. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. The notice of violation and notice of hearing is Exhibit 1. The verification of ownership is Exhibit 2. The pictures are Exhibit 3, and the AS400 permit information is Exhibit 4.
Your name for the record?
Armide Bastian.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed
That's
certified
what Mitty-
mail. 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation.
This is a violation. What is it, this one?
Yeah. Is this, Mr. Armenti, is this a photo of the recycle bins in Plainview? Is that?
No, that's for the bare spot on the side yard and the front yard.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic there.
Have to put the grass in there?
Yeah, we'll get there in 1 second. I'll explain.
Okay.
And then these are current photos. And Exhibit 4 is the village's permit information. Any objection to the documents being entered?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so we're not talking about the screening. They've got a bush in front of that. You're talking about the bare spots in the yard on the side.
Yeah, Special Magistrate, I originally approached the property when they were pouring a concrete slab in the backyard. I informed them that that required a permit, and as I was there, I also observed other violations like closed storm shutters and the bare spot, so that was included in the violation. Their permit is in plan check, it just hasn't been completed yet.
All right, permit in plan check. All right, well, closed shutter, this is violation hearings, right? So they have time. Yeah, there's a lot, you got a lot of traffic on the side of that house for that area to be worn down that much. A lot of air, moving things across, because my dogs don't even tear up the yard that much. So that one you can fix, the storm shutters you can fix, and I was thinking your worst one is the pouring a slab without a permit, but you're in for a permit. So since she is in for a permit and it is in plan check, we'll get.
Yes, I already paid for the permit and,
You did pay for it
yes,
because it's showing plan fees.
I have the receipt here.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you need to log back into the project doc system and complete the task and send it back to the building department.
Oh,
You pay in another system,
okay.
and then you have to go back and complete your task, otherwise we don't know that you paid and we can't move it forward.
Oh,
It's still sitting with you.
oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked.
Computer things. It's all, you need a 12-year-old. 12-year-olds do this in their sleep. They wake up and it's like the screen goes up, they know how to swipe, they know how to do the settings. I hand my phone to my daughters all the time and say, fix this for me.
If you don't know how to do it, you can come into the office during the day and they'll help you do it.
Okay.
But you'll need your login to Project Doc.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then we'll be able to move it forward to actually going into review.
Yeah, the storm shutter she's going to fix.
Yeah, we're asking for compliance by February 27th or the March 12th fine hearing or $25 a day
We're not
fine.
doing that. No. You're going to fix, the storm shutters, are they still up?
Oh, which one?
Picture from yesterday.
Oh, the one in the back? Oh, I have to take it this, I can take it.
All right, you're going to take, we're going to do two things. We're going to do the storm shutters by the 27th. Okay, that I can handle. 2/27, 3, whatever, what's the 3 date?
We'll just have her come back to only one hearing, not two hearings.
Okay.
So you can do two different
I want
dates,
to give
but
her
just,
time for the
yeah,
permit.
two different dates, just one fine assessment hearing. So 2 compliance dates, 1 fine assessment
that's
hearing.
fine.
We'll do the fine assessment in
No,
April.
I want to do, I'll do the 2 dates, 1 fine assessment hearing thing. That way we can make sure that the storm shutters are off, and that's only going to take a few days.
So that comply by 2/27, the other date.
And the other day, we're going to give her some time in April because she's going through the system. She's at least applied. She has made her payment now. She's not as computer literate as one would hope, and that's probably 75% of the U.S. population. So we're going to give her enough time to get her comments back, redo it, get her comments back, and hopefully get a permit, because the slab is the biggie. Everything else is minor in my world. It's,
For the record, she might be very computer literate, but they're 2 different systems.
yeah, I know, and yeah, it's not the easiest thing, and you would think that something would go here and it would populate back, but it doesn't, because they don't care. I mean, it's like everyone has their one solid work approach to do things, and they're just going to do it. So whatever.
So,
all right, so we're going to give them a 4 date, give them early in the month so I can get to the 4 hearing. So what's the 4 hearing date?
4/9, so 4/1.
4/9, 4/1 is good.
So comply by, for the bare spots and the pouring of the slab, compliance by April 1st or appearance at the April 9th hearing or $25 a day fine.
That gives her a chance to grow some grass or buy some grass too.
Same thing.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to take off the storm shutters in the next day or two and give Andrew a call. And then Andrew will come by and confirm that that is done, so that's fine. You need to get your permit issued and the bare spots taken care of by the 1st of April. April Fool's Day. We did not say that.
Actually, April 1st.
So you're going to have it done by April 1st, and the permit and the bare spots.
Okay.
Okay? If you get the bare spots done before then, fine. If you get the permit done before then, it doesn't matter. Call Andrew for both, just
Okay.
to make sure, because you can fix it, and if we don't see it, it doesn't count. And we want to make sure it counts. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're applying for the permit for the hard thing. So we're giving you more time on the hard thing and the grass, because it's not growing right now, it's the dry season. So I gave you a little bit of time for it to breach into the wet season.
Thank you.
And now you're just going to go get your shutters off, you're going to give Andrew a call, and he's going to come by and go, yes, you got the shutters down. Okay? You'll get an order in the mail.
All set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure you go back into project docs and do whatever you do next.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, which moves us back to page 1, case number 2, fine assessment hearing.
Case 24-0397-11848 Balsam Drive, Christopher and Karina Montgomery.
Special Magistrate would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the order finding violation. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the AS400 permit information.
Okay, so they have non-traditional or non-approved village parking area, I take it.
A fence without a permit as well.
Yeah, well, you know, in for a pound, penny in for a pound. It's old British money, is that what they're talking about? All right, so what would you like in terms of a fine? 325 plus
325, it's been out for 13 days, yes, sir.
Psychic knowledge here.
24-0628.
Oh, you had service by a signed green card, especially on these.
Thank you. 24-0628, 126 Ponce de Leon Street, Danielle M. and Joyce C. Bowman.
Car. It's an SUV.
Special Magistrate would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the order finding violation. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
They make it easy on you, you know? That's like cheating. Got it jacked up, there's a wheel off of there, goodness. All right, you have a signed green card, 325 plus continuing is granted.
24-0778 is being pulled. 24-0984 Lexington Village, Madison Green, Lexington Village Homeowners Association, Inc.
The Matty Green people are in trouble. Miss Walker's getting her steps in now. All right, tell us about this, code officer.
Code section 11.3 CD. Description is gate access denied. I observed the violation on 12/10/24. Certified mail was mailed out on 12/10/24 and returned back. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, also USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos.
All right, so you have a USPS track and confirm showing that it was delivered on February 11th to some address in Wellington, which is what you were supposed to do. Is this another 325 plus continuing? Yes, sir. It is granted.
3511453 Southern Boulevard, Oakland, Florida, LLC.
They're missing an R. It could be a pest company. Oakin. Is that relatives?
Huh?
Oakin.
Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
All right. I see 3-page order. This was biggie. And how are we served? Looking for posting or whatever.
Through emails and phone calls.
Okay.
I
so
spoke with them personally.
So what you call personal service, you talked to them directly and told them of the hearing dates, correct? Okay, I will accept that.
Needed to be done.
Gotcha. All right, and they did.
No, they have not. They actually got their approvals so far, but they
Okay.
still have not obtained their permits.
All right, so they still
So
have to,
it's been out for 12 days at $50 a day, so we're asking for a fine of $600 and continuing.
600 plus continuing is granted. Hopefully they'll get their permits and we will cut their fine down.
-0619-10641 Southern Boulevard, Rosh Ram Abbasi Royal LLC.
Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification. 3 pictures. Exhibit 4A is 400 permit information. And that one, I believe there's an affidavit of service with that one.
Oh, there's an affidavit of service right in the front, so that's not an issue for me there. Advanced or AutoZone? That's a nice brand-new sign. Yeah, I'll go there to get them to read my codes in my car. So, how much?
This one, again, 12 days at $50, so $600 and continuing.
600 plus continuing. You know, these sign companies kind of know they need permits for these things, but they'll do it anyway. It's all good.
Thank you.
24-0692 100 Moorgate Circle, Ernest St. Ange.
Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4A is 400 permit information.
All right, sign green card equals service.
Compliance for 43 days at $50 a day, so $2,150 and continuing.
All right. Expensive tree, $21.50 plus continuing is granted. Service via signed green card.
4-0725 161 Bob White Court, Iris and Toribio and Francisco T. Renteria.
Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Notice of fine assessment hearing, previous order finding violation, affidavit of service, Exhibit 2, a verification ownership, and Exhibit 3, pictures.
Yeah, I wanted my daughter to get a Mustang. She wants a vet instead. At least she has good taste in cars. All right, you have an affidavit of service. So you have service. What is the amount on this?
This one has been out of compliance for 76 days at $25 a day, so $1,900 and continuing.
100 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you.
806 580 North State Road 7, ARC Caffeus A001 LLC.
Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Notice of fine assessment hearing, order finding violation, affidavit of service, Exhibit 2, verification ownership, Exhibit 3, pictures, Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Oh, well, okay, you have service via posting, and is there a fine amount in this?
Yes, there is. This has been out for 62 days at $50 a day, so $3,100 and not continuing.
3100, no continuing. Granted.
Repeat violation hearings, 24-1039 119 Moorgate Circle, Javier E. Fernandez and Irma Davila.
Sections 14.4A, disabled vehicle. I observed the violation on 12/31/24. Sent out notice of violation and notice of hearing certified mail on 1/2/25. I got the green card signed and not dated. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Previous order finding violation, case number 240784. Dated 11/19/24. Exhibit 2 is a notice of repeat violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay, someone's truck project. Someone should have talked to me about collector car insurance. This one's old enough. They could probably qualify, be a whopping $250 a year, but no. All right, so they don't have a warning. What's the amount?
This was observed from December 31st through today, so that's 44 days at $50, so that's $2,200 and continuing.
200 plus continuing is granted, probably going to end up being worth more than the truck.
Thank you.
Violation hearings, 24-0931 11440 Okeechobee Boulevard 101, CS Property Holdings LLC.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 15-141 and 15-71, a dead pine tree. The violation was observed on November 18th, 2024. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on November 19th and returned. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, the pictures. And Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance.
All right, this is just a finding of fact. You have service via signed green card. Finding of fact is granted.
0932, 123 Kingsway, Michael A. Lyles and Cassidy K. O'Leary.
Special Magistrate, the code sections of 12-4C, 14-2, and 14-4A, garbage can not screened to code, miscellaneous items, and disabled vehicle. The violation was observed on November 18th, and the notice of hearing and notice of violation was sent certified mail on November 19th, and the USPS tracking says it was delivered on 11/21. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is a notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Okay. Poor boat. I had a boat for 25 years. It was great. Glad I don't have it anymore. All right, you have service.
Asking for compliance by 227 or the 312 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
How are we served on this? Oh, I see the tracking confirm. You just folded it funny and confused me.
I folded it incorrectly?
You folded it funny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like there's a little square up here. I'm like, what is, oh,
But
it's
I
a track
highlighted
and
it for you,
confirm.
Special Magistrate.
Yeah, no, you've got it right there. It's just, I'm confused easily. All right, so 227 or something is what you said?
Compliance or 312 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
24-0957, 102 Santa Monica Avenue, Carmine J. Vesuvio.
The code section, Special Magistrate, are 23-18B2, 15-141, and 15-71. Trailer not parked to code and a dead palm tree. The violation was observed on 12/2/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/2/24 and delivered according to USPS tracking. I also have actual service. I've spoken to the owner about it. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures. Exhibit 4 is the AS400 permit information.
Now, you're going to have to help me out a little because I see the stump of the tree. Well, I see the stick of the tree, but I can't really see it in the picture with the black and silver van in front of it. So is it there still or no?
And it's been removed. However, the permit is still in plan check.
Okay, so they haven't gotten their permit for the removal.
Still there as of 12/26, which is after the duration of the violation.
Compliance date.
Correct.
Yeah, I think these people went to Barrett Jackson and bought a couple of cars. Seriously, a couple of red cars popped up there from the late 80s. So yeah, that's one of them. That's where we walk our dogs.
And also, Special Magistrate, as of yesterday, the trailer's back in the driveway. So before he moved it to the side of the house, but it was still sticking out in front of the structure. Now, as I went back yesterday to re-inspect, the trailer is parked in the driveway.
Yeah, well, they're having some massive renovation done there because there's a whole bunch of reno vehicles. I don't know if it's permitted or not. I don't have an AS400 machine to look at.
It looks like some interior work that was permitted the last time I looked.
Okay, what would you like with this one?
27 or the 312 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
24-0981, 122 Spanish Pine Terrace, Ricard R. Evans.
Special Magistrate, the code sections for this case is 15-40J, 15-4, 15-7, 15-60, 15-63. The vegetation in the right-of-way does not meet the requirements of the right-of-way permit number 15-106. This violation was observed on 12/6/24. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent on 12/9/24 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents to evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the right-of-way permit number 15-106, and Exhibit 4 are the pictures.
Okay. I remember Coppolas.
Huh?
This was a Coppola guy like a decade ago. He had stuff on the top of his roofs. Cupolas.
Could be.
No, she remembers that. I remember that. It reminded me of the Kentucky Derby. I mean, it's like, oh, that's usually what you find on a horse barn. It's on top of your house. Why? And I think he eventually removed them from the top of his house. No, maybe not. Anyway, what's your desires on this one? You have service.
Compliance by February 27 or appearance at the April 4th fine assessment hearing or a $50 a day fine.
227.
74950.
49, okay, because you said April 4th, and I was like, that's not enough time.
Right. It's
Yeah.
been a long day, I'm sorry. 49 is what I meant to say.
You didn't do a traffic hearing today. All right, 227, 4925 is granted on, and that's case number 1 of his?
Yeah, and just for the record, Special Magistrate, your fine amount on that one was $50.
Oh, okay. 227, 4950 is granted.
Thank you. And then 24-0982122 Spanish Pine Terrace, Rickard R. Evans.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 15-3, 6-190A35DF, 15-141, 15-71, 14-4A, 14-40F, 6-194, and 6-193. For maintaining a nuisance on the property, stained driveway and sidewalk, planting areas not defined, open garage door while garage is used for storage, dead palm trees, dead palm fronds, disabled vehicle, vertical clearance on the sidewalk not to code, trash and refuse on property not in a sanitary condition. The violation was observed on 12/6/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/9/24 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Notice of violation, notice of hearing with an affidavit of service is Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right, so you have service via posting. Ms. Bernard and I will look at this sort of like a law school exam. You get a fact pattern that has like 10 or 12 issues in it that you have to pick out and talk about. This is kind of you. You got like a whole bunch of numbers here because you have a whole bunch of problems, from all the stuff littering the side to the car that was out of registration in the middle part of 2024, to the garage that has stuff in front of it that's partially cracked open, to all the stuff around the yard. It's fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
Also, Special Magistrate, the van has not moved in a long time, and that's
Yeah, I
documented
wouldn't doubt
in the
that
pictures.
because it just kind of goes along with the entire ethos of that property. All right, what would you like for this one?
On case 24-0982, code sections 6190A35, which is the stained driveway and sidewalk, and 1540F, which is the vertical clearance over sidewalk not to code. Those are findings of fact. 1540F, vertical clearance.
Findings of fact, okay.
Those are findings of fact. For the remaining violations, we're asking for compliance by 2/27 or the April 9 fine assessment hearing or a $75 a day fine.
Granted.
Special Magistrate, if I could ask that we reopen 24-0981. We failed to mention on the record, the village would ask that the magistrate authorize the copy of the permit. He has a right-of-way utilization permit in your file. We'd ask that if the work is not done, that the village be authorized to deal with the vegetation in the right-of-way so that it's safe.
All right, so you want a quasi-abatement-ish
Correct.
order allowed to do the...
It's our, to charge back the costs, right?
Right, okay, well, considering the request to reopen and amend 24-098 or 0981, the request is granted, the case is reopened. It will be $227, $49, or $50, with the caveat that the village has the authority to go and remediate the problems in the right-of-way and charge it back to the property, the adjacent property owner.
Thank you.
That cover everything?
Yes.
Which leaves us with the bottom of page 3.
24-1008, 1413 Thornbank Lane, James D. Goggins.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 15-2 and 6-190A1. This is for miscellaneous items in a stained structure. The violation was observed on 12/20/24. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 12/20/24, and USPS tracking says it was delivered on 12/26. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right. As my lovely wife likes to say, there are yard people and not yard people. All right, so you have service via USPS track and confirm. You have all kinds of wonderful pictures of miscellaneous debris, construction materials, and other issues at the property. What would you like?
Compliance by 227 or the 312 fine hearing, or $25 a day fine.
227, 312.25 is granted.
Thank you.
Page 4.
24-0969, 2811 Misty Oak Circle, Adam Kramerow.
Trim.
That I had to print out
Is it dated?
I put the date at the bottom.
Okay, you wrote it on there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, tell me about this one.
Code section 15141, 95 and 98, for the dead palm fronds and hedges exceed allowed height. I observed the violation on 12/6. Certified mail was mailed out on 12/6/24 and returned back on 12/10/24. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, the verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photos.
All right, so did they rip out part of it? I'm just trying to figure out what belongs with what. Because it looks like there was a big tree or something by that part.
There was a whole lot of hedges and other things of that nature, and we had a few complaints, so.
And is it still a problem?
No, sir, it's, he has complied with everything.
Okay, so then it becomes a finding of fact, or no?
Those notes, take it out.
Finding of fact is granted. All right, let's go to 24-970.
And 7215 Bilbao Street, Boris E. and Ivan Lopez.
With Boris and Ivan, you do not expect Lopez to follow.
Code section 061985, the description is sidewalk and driveway stained. I observed the violation on 12/6/24. Certified mail was mailed out on 12/6/24 and returned back on 12/12/24. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photos.
So it looks like they're partially painting it?
They haven't done anything.
Oh, okay, they have a partially painted driveway and they just have a dirty part.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty much, yes.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's pretty much everything. All right, so for this one, you want?
Compliance by 327 or the 49 fine hearing, or $25 a day fine.
327, 4925 is granted.
And you had a finding of service on that one?
Yes, I did. There's a lovely signed green card.
Thank you, sir. Top of page 5, 24-1001, 216 Cordoba Circle, Progress Residential Borrower 5 LLC.
Willie, my boy.
061985, description driveway and sidewalk stained. I observed the violation on 12/16/24. Certified mail was mailed out on 12/16/24, and it was returned back on 12/23/24. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos.
All right, you have service because Willie Grant has a wonderful stamp with his signature and it's spelled out, and I love Willie's stamp. So you have service and driveway sidewalk stain. So, yeah, I have a Progress residential house across the street from me that was vacant for a long time, and it had very high grass, and I was waiting to see it come before you. And something must have happened because all of a sudden vans started showing up everywhere, and people had to mow the yard like 4 times to get it to flat. And all of a sudden, fences are being repaired and carpets being removed, and they need to move down to 216 Cordova next. All right, what would you like with this one?
Compliance by 327 or the 4-9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
24-0925 is being pulled. 24-0938, 146 Sparrow Drive, Calvin and Jason Bentley. Doesn't matter.
You don't want to take away her steps.
Code sections 2318B3, 2657. Camper parked on back lawn, shed without a permit. Observed this violation on 3/21/24. Sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 11/22/24. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4 is 400 permit information.
All right, so I have a picture of the shed. You're going to tell me that there's something parked there as well.
There was a camper.
Good. That's all I need. I need some testimony. You are providing it now.
Out of the house.
Okay.
Where are we at?
Keep going. 2 more. Keep going. One more after that. There we go.
There's the shed. Oh, I don't have
Yeah,
one
I
of the
just didn't have
camper.
a camper picture.
I'm sorry. But it was on the
I
side of
asked
the
for
house.
the camper testimony. You have visually seen the camper on the
We
side of
see
the
it
house.
several times. from
Okay,
months.
that's all I need.
2318B3
18B3,
I have an old
parking on the
photo of
lawn.
it I'd like to enter
on the lawn. Yeah.
into evidence. That one, it didn't come to last hearing because I had to renotice them. So
And
there
we
is
still
a
have the
photo
shed without a
there.
permit problem. Not a problem. Okay. Well, it is a problem, but
Yes, so the shed.
I should say.
We're asking for compliance by 327 or the 4-9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine. And for the parking on the lawn, 2318B, a finding of fact, B3.
Already circled the 2318B and written down FOF, so it's a finding of fact on that.
Yes.
For 2657, 327, 4925 is granted.
24-0942, 127 Teal Court, Sherry A. Sanderson Linton.
Code section 06190A1, structure is stained. Observe this violation on 11/21/24. Send out notice of violation and notice of hearing. Certified mail, excuse me, on 11/22/24. I got USPS tracking delivered on 12/3/24. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
All right, USPS tracking confirm, shows service, finding of fact.
Yes, sir.
Granted.
Thank you.
24-0954, 128 Vizcaya Avenue, Emmanuel, what should be R, and Christine D. Nadeau.
Which one's
I
that?
will make it P and R,
Should be a R, not a P. That's what Linda told me.
Where do I have that one?
unless you want to sound like Hercule Poirot.
I
Get even more
passed it
French.
right up. I apologize. Code sections 942, fences and disrepair. I observed the violation on 11/26/24. Sent out notice of violation and a notice of hearing certified mail on 11/27/24. It was signed for on 11/30/24. Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have service via signed green card, 327-4925.
Yes, sir.
Granted.
24-0959, 139 Finch Court, Helen E. Wagmeister.
Code section 06198, shutters are closed and there's no storm. I observed this violation on 12/2/24, sent out notice of violation and a notice of hearing certified mail on 12/4/24. It was delivered on 12/9/24. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
I'm always jealous of people with accordions, but you have a signed green card, you have service, what would you like?
This one, we're asking for compliance by February 27th or appearance at the March 12th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
227, 312, 25 is granted. They should be able to close or open their shutters in that time frame.
24-0978, 110 Heron Parkway, Gregory Cloutier and Sarah Reiger.
Code Sections 2318B12, 2657. Prohibited trailer not screened and on the property. I don't know how long it is. So either it's a prohibited trailer or it's a restricted trailer not screened from view, and a gazebo without a permit. I observed the violation on 12/9/24, sent out a notice of violation and a notice of hearing, certified mail on 12/9/24, and posted that to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
All right, you have an affidavit of service on this one. What would you like?
This one at 2657 is a finding of fact. The gazebo.
The gazebo. Okay.
No, is that right?
The
With the gazebo
gazebo's
without a
finding
permit?
of fact. They removed it. It's
They
no
removed it,
longer
okay.
there in the picture
So it's easy. Remove it.
because I can't see it, so to me, it's no longer there.
And then the other section, we're asking for compliance by 327 or the 4/9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
So if they ever look up this tape, you just say, screen it, or show me it's less than X feet.
Well, either way, it'd have to be screened because it's an open trailer.
Right,
But if
I
it's
get
over
that.
20 feet, it needs to be removed.
Gotcha. Okay. Next, we are on
24-0980 is being pulled. 24-1007, 2595 Lakeview Drive West, Casa Royale HOA, Inc.
Code sections 15141, 1571, 61931, 26847, 142, 124C. Dead tree, dumpsters not screened. I observed the violation on 12/20/24, sent out notice of violation, certified mail, and notice of hearing on 12/20/24, posted to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
I like the way you respond to it in red in the email. All right, you have this affidavit of service. What would you like?
Compliance by 327 or the 4/9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
327, 49, 25 granted. And
25-0020, 316 Sandpiper Avenue, Jose and Oneida Ospina.
Sections 2318B1, 2318B3, sorry, and 2316, I can't read my own writing. Parking on lawn and parking against the flow of traffic. I observed this violation on 1/6/25, sent out notice of violation and notice of hearing, certified mail on 1/7/25. It was signed for on 1/10/25. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
finding of fact is granted.
Was it a finding of fact?
The record reflected I signed the November 13 minutes. Is there anything else to be brought before the Special Magistrate Hearing Board?
No, sir.
Of which I am I? No?
No, sir.
And then in that case, once I hand Margaret a pile of stuff, give back Ms. Walker the minutes, we are concluded at 7:42.